Hey everyone, welcome back to What the Freak. We're going to change tempo a little bit today and help people realize the ultimate goal with What the Freak is to help people remember and sense and feel and get to know their inner freak that's just fighting to come out and be expressed. Because when we can have an environment, have a support system, and people around us that celebrate our wins, celebrate our stories, and encourage and inspire us to grow and do more and better for ourselves and show up for ourselves. Because ultimately, it boils down to we are accountable and responsible for our choices and our power, our feelings, our thoughts, our communication, the way we're speaking, which is huge, actually. Because if you look back on what has been discussed thus far about how there's so much assuming, nobody really communicating effectively, nobody really listening to understand and seek to understand versus just have a response or be right. And it is creating so much stress and conflict in ourselves and in others because it's creating conflict in ourselves. And it's really robbing a lot of people of their chance to be happy and successful and have fun in their life. And pissing in our Wheaties because they choose not to be authentic and stay stressed out and not do anything about their situation, which is fine. That's their choice. The issue becomes when people choose not to make that choice, to make a change. It's automatically going to be projected onto the outer world and whoever they're around, which isn't fair to those of us who are doing something about our choices and our actions and our behavior, and to do better for ourselves to create a better world for us and others. And that's what the Freq is about. We're about a play is medicine concept. It can be fun. And even when it's not fun, having a support system of people that we can be ourselves with, that we can cry, that we can, show ourselves, our authentic self. Because this isn't all about the love and light and staying in the positive energy, positive talk all the time. It's not about being perfect. It's about allowing ourselves to feel what we choose and hurt and cry and scream and yell and getting it, whatever it is. It's going about doing it in a healthy way where you're around people who are there that aren't going to judge you and assume things about you or criticize you for what you did or punish you or for making mistakes. Because we all have. Every single freaking one of us. So for anybody to be judging is downright ridiculous, honestly. And ruining everybody else's fun. Because kids, what did Jesus say? Be like children. Not only asking questions, not only being curious and discovering their world, it's also about being creative and having fun. And kids don't see race. Kids don't see status. Kids don't see any of that. They're just pure joy and love. Until we fuck it up for them. Unknowingly, mind you. And we fuck it up for them. And look where things are now. Now, this is, again, not judging anyone. Because I was there. Pretty much everybody's been there. And when a choice is presented for a way that is possible to easily grasp how it works and then have simple tools to apply it, shout out Enlifted method, then having that support system, getting rid of those judgments and expectations and assumptions, and actually seeking to understand, man, does life get way more peaceful and easier and more fun. Because then there's no expectation of perfection. Then we can make our mistakes and have a support system to figure out what's going on, why, oh, here's a perspective, well, here's a perspective. And woo, have I had some mind-blowing perspectives shared with me because of their stories and their experience and what they learned, that gave me a deeper and better understanding of myself and why I had things showing up, or why I did things, why I made certain choices that were not the best choices. And we can choose to stay stuck. We can choose to stay where we're at. And I'm sharing that the unknown can be made known. When we go through our stories, when we shift our perceptions and we change our language, which shifts our perceptions, then we realize how much more empowering it is when we are accountable and responsible for our choices. It doesn't have to be this scary, negative, I don't want people to see who, the insecurities or the shame that has been the most damaging of all, and is the lowest vibration of all. And it's keeping us stuck. And because we are manifesting and we have our experiences showing up based on our perception, which will show up in our experience with relationships, careers, where we're at. And this is why it is so important to teach our children accountability and responsibility. Have them do chores. Have them get their homework done. Look at where things are headed. Look at how kids are these days. They don't want to do shit because they're not being made to do shit. Because as a parent, it is our job to guide them. And it is by lovingly guiding them to learn to deal with the consequences of your choices. Learn a process of how, and learn that there's consequences to those choices. Kids are not learning accountability and responsibility, and is making them entitled and ungrateful. To where I have seen firsthand in the workplace where they want to just do nothing and get paid and expect to be. And get triggered and throw tantrums essentially when they don't get their way, because they're not being taught these things as children first, so that they are in those habits as they become adults and have the work ethic and have the gratitude and appreciation and respect for others and themselves mostly. It's teaching them self-respect and to respect themselves. And at the same time, then they'll turn around and do that for others and to others. Look at kids that grow up on farms. They're very polite and respectful. Look at Amish kids and other cultures and how their kids are. The ones that aren't in the, we tend to, because we felt neglected as children, so we want to overly compensate by, yes, there is the nurturing and comforting. It's the balance of, rewarding and not just being about punishing them when they do something wrong, but, encouraging them and having fun with them and spending quality time with them and sharing when they do something right. Teaching them to celebrate their wins, just like it helps us to celebrate ours. And to give you an idea of how powerful our perceptions are, there is, and I've shared this before, the example of a brothers who had an alcoholic father. And one turned out really successful. The other one turned out addicted to drugs and homeless. And when this journalist heard their story and went to interview them, he asked both of them, what is it that got you here to where you are? And both of them said, my father was an alcoholic. What does that say about our choices and our perceptions? And where it is leading our trajectory? So how can we become the successful brother? By shifting our perception of ourselves, of others, by being willing to be accountable and responsible for our choices and behaviors, and yet having a support system of people that you can be that imperfect freak self and discover your unique freak side and let your freak flag fly. So we'll be having events coming up. We'll be having workshops and things. In the meantime, each of us are respecting each other's other things they're doing outside of this. And so it hasn't been like a super structured, super professional looking stuff yet. And we're working on it. We're building it. And in the meantime, we're just getting what we're about out there so that people can start becoming aware that we exist, so that you can become a member and get to know each of us and get on the Freqs page and see the amazing people on there and that are joining and coming together. And it's amazing and it's fun. And we're all here to support each other. And that's really what the Freq is ultimately going to be about, is having a network of like-minded, like-hearted people that want to inspire, that desire to inspire and encourage and empower those who have been in condition to be in this stress state on purpose, and start doing what a friend and mentor of mine always said is, when we laugh at the devil, he will run. Yeah. And I've come to experience that truth. Coming from having CPTSD, coming from decades of abuse and abusing myself, because ultimately that's what it comes down to. Victim or victor. And we can have it victim to victor. And maybe it's easier than we thought. I know it was easier than I thought. And I realized how we've been conditioned to be stressed the fuck out. Conditioned. And when we shift our perception, and it shifts our emotion, which shifts our ability to manifest from the higher vibrations, have better experiences and opportunities and positive things happen. And be able to process when things aren't perfect, have an outlet of where we can release that stuff in a safe space where we won't be judged or criticized for making mistakes, and simply allowed and guided through the process. So it can be fun. It is fun. It can be for those that aren't having fun. So become a member, and we're figuring it out as we go here, and we're like newborns to this creation stuff, ourselves, because it took us so long to get here, and it doesn't have to for you. And that's the point, is coming together regardless of what each of us wants to create. What do you choose to create with your passion and purpose, and what lights you up? We've been conditioned to believe that our dreams can't happen unless this or unless that. I'm making mine happen. And so are the rest of us. And we desire to inspire others to make their life happen and have fun with it, and not make it about having to be this hard work. I mean, look at what we're telling ourselves. Language, people. Abracadabra. With my words I create, and with my words I influence. Thank you for listening. Please like and subscribe, follow the Freqs, and learn to let your freak flag fly.